Good evening, Dr. Slaughter, my classmates, and all those who are privileged to be a part of this discussion. My name is Jeffrey Darling, and I'm a student here at the Interdenominational Theological Center. This is my presentation on the family as a system. Edward P. Wimbley's book, Pastoral, Counseling, and Spiritual Value, A Black Point of View, introduces the theory of family as a system in chapter 6 of his book. The family as a system begins with the nuclear family, which is the primary focus and includes the multi-generational family and the single-parent family. The nuclear family can be defined as the husband, wife, parent or child or children relationship. Within the system's framework, families are viewed as complex entities comprised of a variety of patterns and functions. As a functional unit, the family exists to satisfy some basic human needs. Included in this framework, there is a heavy concentration on autonomous and differentiated people. Autonomous and differentiated refers to the capacity of individuals to become their unique separate selves apart from others who make up their family of origin or birth. The suggestion here is that persons within the family should be allowed to find themselves, be comfortable with themselves, and by so doing, they would be able to have a level of understanding within the relationship that could prove positive for nurturing children and having a loving family unit. Further, in the family as a systems model, differentiated parents maintain proper boundaries between themselves and the child. They respond to the child according to the child's developmental needs and discipline the child with firmness and fairness. According to Wimbley, there is a correlation between personal growth and family system functioning. In other words, persons who have matured to this level are better able to communicate properly within the family system. This pattern of clear communication within the family system is intended to lead to the following: good relationship, particularly where children nurturing is concerned. Clearly defined roles. The assumption here is that the person would be better able to relate to others in the family, community, and within the society. Decent ways of expressing feelings. Here, that is, the milder side of the person is exposed instead of the aggressive side. You know, we can really be aggressive when we get ticked off, eh? And that's both male and female. That have nothing to do with gender. Establishing of unambiguous boundaries that are not rigid. The assumption is that the husband and wife share complementary and mutual roles. They share in the rearing and guidance of the children. Satisfaction, and finally I say satisfaction, is given to massage the need for love and affection. I use the word massage, not lightly, but just to indicate how it should feel. Because if you ever had a massage, you feel that relaxing feeling from being massaged by a masseuse. It brings about that feeling of satisfaction. While this chapter speaks about the family, one can get lost in the intention of the author and can easily overlook the intended audience, which is the pastoral caregiver or counselor. The caregiver in this case probably would be called upon to identify nodal events in the family. And I use the term nodal events because a nodal event would be a disruption of the natural biological flow within a family. It is expected that a pastoral counselor of black families could help the family learn to send and receive clear messages, experiment with different effective styles, develop role complementarity, and firm up boundaries. I think, like, as I looked at this chapter and I came to this point in this chapter, this is the point where I wish to jump off this bus and explore the obvious issue that a pastoral caregiver will be faced with in lieu of the fact that it is not addressed here. Firstly, let us establish or re-establish that in this discourse, a family consists of people with a need for procreation within the family of a man and a woman. I ask the question, respectfully, of course, for all of you to consider. How does this system apply to persons who have now been given the green light in a recent Supreme Court decision in the United States of America to marry someone of the same sex? Most importantly, how does this affect the ability and the approach of a pastoral counselor in treating using the family as a system approach? How does this affect them? What will this cause them to have to be able to adjust to? These questions and concerns are polarized further when one considers what the author says about differentiation and roles. He says that a man may be father, husband, primary nurturer, babysitter, church member, and so forth. The woman, on the other hand, can be mother, wife, primary nurturant parent, or secondary nurturant parent, breadwinner, and so forth. So here we see the discussion clearly indicating that this system is intended for use within what we consider to be a traditional family. How would a pastoral counselor navigate through the task of identifying within a same-sex marriage who is who when they both are of the same gender? Now, these are salient points that we must consider as seminarians and as forward thinkers. It is difficult for one to fathom how a family as a system approach would be applied in the case of same-sex marriages. Can I suggest that there may be a need for revision of this process if the intention is to include all families, even though the focus is on black families? Outside of the question which I have raised, it is clear that the family as a system process is geared toward treating families holistically, seeking to bring to bear all of the resources of the family on marital and family difficulties. More importantly, that religious and societal values are implied in the way the family carries out its task. Another question: have family values along with family as a system approach been skewed by the legalizing of same-sex marriage? I would imagine that the counselor focusing approach, which is developing one's own person and style through help of others more experienced in the art of counseling, becomes even more important now in the life of a pastoral caregiver. In conclusion, the pastoral counselor must be a differentiated person in order to provide care for or be able to recognize differentiated persons within a family system in order to effectively address an issue within that union. Is this time for lament? When I say lament, what do I mean? Is this time for us to complain to God with the expectation of God to respond? Black people are resilient. They are adaptable. They are intelligent enough to figure this one out. Yes, they are people of resilience, adaptability, and a certain level of intelligence to be able to figure this one out. I wish to end this presentation by referring to the way Wimbley closes this particular discussion. And he closes by saying, as I read from this book, the dignity and worth of persons, the importance of caring relationships, priority goal setting, and examples of grace are all involved in how a family accomplishes its task. Therefore, the process of pastoral counseling with families helps individual members to discover and to clarify their value commitments. The family as a systems approach. Where do we end this approach?